Welcome, everybody. We're really thrilled that you could join us tonight to hear about our new program, the Master of Global Medicines Development. We're all very excited about it. My name's Helen O'Keefe, and I'm the Recruitment Manager for the Faculty of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences. And I have with me Dr. Tony Hughes, who is the course director of this new program. So this is the first time that we've done a bespoke presentation on the program, so we're really excited to tell you all about it. Firstly, though, I would like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nations, who are the traditional custodians of the land on which our campus at Parkville stands. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. So in our faculty, we recognise that Australia's Indigenous peoples are this country's first pharmacists and scientists, and we thank them for their knowledge and contribution, which continues to shape the scientific professions today. I'd also like to pay my respect and welcome to any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people who happen to be in our audience tonight. So tonight, what we're going to do is provide an introduction to the Parkville campus. Then Tony will give us an overview of the Master of Global Medicines Development. Please feel free to put some questions through the Q&A. We will attempt to answer them, and anything that we can't answer, we will actually put together into an FAQ and pop up on the Master of Global Medicines Development website. We'll also provide you contact details at the end of the night. So if you want to get in touch with us for further information, you're welcome to do that. With your questions, if you've got something that's very complicated, you've got a complicated academic past or what have you that you'd like to discuss with us, please do feel free to get in touch with us rather than to put your questions through tonight. So just a little bit about our campus. So we are actually much older than Monash University. We were established as the Victorian College of Pharmacy in 1881. So we have a very rich and deep history. We are a single-purpose campus, meaning that we only teach pharmacy and pharmaceutical sciences. So we have a very strong community. Everybody has shared interests and goals. So the community is really strong at our campus. We are situated in Melbourne's key biomedical and biotech precinct as well. So we are surrounded by major hospitals, biotech companies, research institutes. We're close to the University of Melbourne. So we are in a really fantastic spot for what we do. We are also, of course, part of Monash more broadly. So we're a global top 40 university, currently 36 in the 2026 QS rankings. We're also home to the Monash Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, or MIPS, which is a world-leading research institute that provides end-to-end drug discovery and delivery research and services as well. So a little bit about life at Parkville. As I mentioned, we are a really close-knit community. There's only about 3,000 people on campus, and our student body is made up of about 35% international students who come from a really broad range of places. So it's a really kind of diverse and interesting community that we've got. We are located near the Melbourne CBD, so we're close to public transport, probably about 15 minutes by tram from the CBD, but there's a new station about to open in Parkville, which might make it a bit quicker to get to campus. And we're also close to some of the more vibrant inner suburbs of Melbourne, like Brunswick and Carlton. What is really great about us, though, is that while we're kind of in the city and we're near the inner suburbs, we're also surrounded by a lot of parklands. We've got the zoo behind us. So if you're needing to go for a quiet walk in nature at lunchtime, there's always somewhere for you to go. We don't have student accommodation on campus, but there is quite a lot of student accommodation close by, and being in the city, there's also quite a lot of private rentals available as well. So while we're small, we still have lots of fun stuff like student clubs, sporting and social activities. We do have a postgrad association, which is very active as well. So it plays a role in all aspects of academic, cultural and social student life. They organise lots of student events, and they provide representation for postgraduate students who are located on our campus. We have 24-hour security on campus. So while we are small and it's a different experience to going to like the Clayton campus or one of the larger universities, what I really like about it in one way is the smallness and the fact that you can access security any time of day or night if you're here early or late. We also have 24-hour study spaces if you need them. So that's a little bit about our campus. And I'm going to hand over to Tony now to talk a little bit about, well, the course, but starting off with talking about our relationship with the University of North Carolina. So I'll hand over to you, Tony.
Yeah, thanks so much, Helen. I think you've really captured a lot of what it's like to be a student and a staff member at our faculty in Parkville. I remember talking to some students about what it was like, and really it's kind of like a village. And if you want to go and find me, for example, you want to find Helen, you walk around campus and you ask someone, have you seen Helen? And they'll say, oh yeah, I think she was down in the cafeteria, and you'll be able to go and find her kind of there. So it's a very personal place, really. I think a very special place to study and to work, because you've actually got access to everyone there. Everyone is there with a common set of goals to learn and to study and to do science in the pharmaceutical science and pharmacy space. So really, really very enjoyable place to be. So the program we're going to be talking about tonight, as Helen mentioned, is a new degree, the Master of Global Medicines Development. And it's something we've been working on for some years to try and get this to work. There's some challenges with putting together degrees across campuses across the world. But we've been very fortunate to have a very close relationship with our partners at the Eschelman School of Pharmacy at the University of North Carolina. We're part of a larger group known as Pharm Alliance, which consists of ourselves, UNC, and University College London School of Pharmacy. And together in that Pharm Alliance group, we've been able to set up, initially with our UNC partners, this Master of Global Medicines Development. And it aligns very much not only with what we want to do in this degree, but more broadly what we're trying to do in the pharmaceutical research space across the two partner universities. I'll grab the next slide. So as Helen said, Monash University is number 30 odd in the world. The faculty is rather better than the rest of the university. We're currently number 4 in the world for pharmacy and pharmacology in world rankings. University of North Carolina is also punching above its weight, number 10 in the world for pharmacy and pharmacology. So these are two very highly ranked schools of that specialise in pharmaceutical science research and pharmacy research more broadly, who've gotten together to create this degree, hopefully for you. Next slide, thanks, Helen. So the idea of this degree, it's for students with a science-based undergraduate background, and it's for really those who are looking for a career probably in the sort of leadership area of the discovery of new medicines. And as we'll talk about a little bit over the next few slides, medicines development really is very much a global enterprise, whether you're thinking about treating diseases of global significance or whether you're thinking about the resources that you need in order to be able to create new medicines. These are generally things that require global coordination, and we need people, well-trained people, to be able to act in that coordination role to either be tackling the global challenges that we face as, of disease, and to bring together the global resources to meet those challenges. So what you'll learn if you undertake the degree, sorry, we'll just go back still, Helen. Getting excited there. So you'll learn about the latest advancements in pharmaceutical science. We'll have some time to spend on that. We'll look at aspects of sustainable medicine development. Sustainability is so vital in every aspect of what we do, but very much so in medicines development. If it's not sustainable, we can't come back and do it tomorrow. And if we can't do it tomorrow, we can't face tomorrow's challenge, or maybe even today's challenge. So sustainability in a very broad sense in medicines development is absolutely critical for the industry to continue and for us to meet global medicines challenges. You'll look at developing global ethics and responsibility in pharmaceutical development. We do some interesting exercises in that with really challenging your ideas about ethics and responsibility in the pharmaceutical space. You'll have a good chance to deep dive into some regulatory science topics, particularly with some of the work that's offered from our UNC partners, which we'll talk about in a moment's time. And we'll have a chance to help you develop your global leadership skills as well too. Next slide now. Thanks, Helen. So it's a 3-semester degree, 72 credit points in Monash speak. In the first year, semesters 1 and 2, which will start in 2026. So in the first year, students will take 2 in-person units from Monash Parkville in each semester. So they're units that will teach you come on campus, face-to-face, and you'll do those 2 units. You'll actually be doing those units with students that are enrolled in our Master of Pharmaceutical Science as well. So you'll be in with a larger group of students, or a separate group of students, but you'll be in that cohort. So that'll be a chance for you to expand your network as well too. We're very excited alongside that though to have our colleagues from UNC, the Chapel Hill campus, where the School of Pharmacy is there, are going to travel out to Melbourne each semester to co-teach a 3rd in-person unit each semester. So there'll be 1 unit taught in each semester where we'll have UNC staff come out and teach, and they'll teach alongside myself and my colleagues. And that'll be delivered in an intensive mode, hands-on workshops, in-person mentoring, intensive at the start of semester, some support through semester, and then intensive again to finish at the end of semester. So it'll sit alongside those 2 in-person units, but it will be, again, in person at Monash University Parkville campus. So alongside those 3 in-person units, students will also be taking a fully online unit, which will be offered by our UNC partners, and that's carried out fully online. So that will give you experience, then further experience with and connection with the UNC campus, alongside the teachers that will come out, staff that will come out and teach you in that joint unit, and alongside the 2 units that you'll do directly, solely with us. That's semester 1 and 2. In semester 3, which will be, if you were to join the degree in 2026, this would be semester 1 in 2027. Feeling old now, it's 2027. Maybe I should be feeling young. Next slide. Thanks, Helen. So in the 3rd semester, it's all about placement. So we will find you a placement opportunity. So that's one of the exciting things about the degree. You're guaranteed a placement, and you'll do that placement either in a pharmaceutical sciences company or in a lab, and you'll work on solutions to real-world problems for that placement site. If it's an academic research site, then you'll be working on a typical academic research problem, but it may also be in an industry site, and you'll be working then on an industry-related problem in that placement. So those placements will come from Melbourne's biotechnology and drug development industry, which is again, Melbourne punches very much above its weight in a world sense. And there's also the possibility then of placement at North Carolina's Research Triangle Park. Now, there'll be some challenges with getting large numbers of students to North Carolina at the moment. We're kind of aware of that. There are some geopolitical issues with visas and so on with that, but that opportunity will be there at least that you'll be able to explore. If not, we will have excellent placement opportunities for you here, and there will be the opportunity, if you wish to self-source a placement, but we will find an excellent placement for you. So during that placement, you work on that problem, you complete a capstone project as part of that, and have a series of oral presentations and a report where you describe your problem and present the solution that you've sought for that problem with the evidence that you've gathered during your placement. So it's if you like, a little practice run of what it's like to be engaged in the medicines development industry, and a really super opportunity to get you started in your medicines development career. This is the first intake of students that will be coming through the degree if you enroll in 2026. So we don't have any students that have completed the degree and moved through yet. We do have a number of cohorts now that have moved through our Master of Pharmaceutical Science degree, which also culminates in a placement. And we have some terrific success stories of students moving on from their placement there, sometimes gaining employment in their placement, sometimes using that as a very important stepping stone to their next step, sometimes realising that that's a pathway they're not going to go down, and then following the ones that they will now do and having success in that as well too. So I think it's a really very exciting part and a wonderful way to pull together the things you will have learnt in the first 2 semesters in the degree. Thanks, Helen. Next slide. So the actual degree, how it's set up there, we said 4 units in each of the first 2 semesters. So in year 1, semester 1, you're enrolled in those 2 units, MPS 5101, an overview of drug discovery and development, which, guess what, gives you an overview of drug discovery and development. We put a lot of work into the title and content of that unit to make sure they align. In MPS 5303, the other Monash only unit, we're really working on setting you up with career tools to get you prepared for your journey through medicine's development. We do some more in-depth sustainability studies as well too in that. GMD 5001 is our unit that will be taught by UNC staff coming out to Melbourne. So they're going to be looking, GMD 5101 is the online unit from University of North Carolina, looking at the fundamentals of regulatory affairs. And then GMD 5002 is the Global Leadership in Pharmaceutical Sciences, is the unit that will have UNC staff come out and teach alongside us. So to help really set you on the path for a leadership role in pharmaceutical science. They're all core units. In semester 2, we do 2 units from Monash, MPS 5201, drug stories, and really about a series of case studies in drug development, medicines development, and MPS 5202, where we again look at case studies with this side from an investigator perspective and look at some of the issues that go into making a medicine. Pharmaceutical science and medicines development is an interesting area of science, because if you think about physiology, for example, physiology happens whether you study it or not, whether you do anything, physiology takes place. If you think about chemistry, chemistry happens whether you like it or not, whether you do anything. Pharmaceutical science and medicines development only happen if people do things. If no one sets out to discover a medicine, medicines don't get discovered. So it's very actively driven area of science. So understanding what's going through the investigator's head, we think is really important part of that. You have an opportunity then to take an elective unit. In 2026, we'll be limiting that to just the emerging topics in regulatory science, because it will give you a very nice thread of regulatory affairs and regulatory science component through the first offering of the degree. And then GMD 5003 is financial and data management in global medicines development, again taught by UNC staff coming out to Parkville alongside our staff here as well too. And then our final semester in year 2, semester 1, is the professional placement and global research project, which takes up the entire semester there. And that would be the degree. Thanks, Helen. Next slide. So all this is really about trying to get together skills that you're going to need for a global career. And as I said, medicines development is global, whether you're thinking about global challenges. We had a big one about 5 years ago or so, and we'll have another one like that at some stage, and we'll have others that will crop up. Or whether you're thinking about, even for a local challenge, the global resources that you generally need to be able to address that. So your skills for a global career, really to help you try to develop the expertise to allow you to solve the problems of medicines development, really from a global perspective. You'll have an opportunity to demonstrate and develop your leadership, your expert judgment, your communication and teamwork competencies. We spend a lot of time working in teams, and we will do in the degree. And this might be quite different to what you've done in your first degree. You've probably all done some teamwork, group work in your first degree. Okay, take that number of teamwork and multiply it by your favourite whole number integer that's greater than 5. So teamwork is so important. And it's not just getting a project and saying, you do this, you do this, you do this, and then you put it all together and you submit the project. That's, one bit of the group work that you can learn to do. Teamwork is a much, much greater thing in that, much greater thing. And it's really about how you pull people together, sometimes from within a building, often though in medicines development from across the world to be able to solve problems. We had a terrific exercise in teamwork in putting this degree together. It took us 5 years, just over, to get the degree together. That was a lot of, in that, the major part of that was managing the teamwork in that, to get that to happen. We're having to, as teams, solve problems together from two sides of the world. How it is that we get two organisations to agree to a joint degree. Remember, this is a joint, I should say, this is a joint degree. So you'll actually have a single degree certificate, a testament, as we call it at Monash, but a single degree certificate that will have travelled the world by the time you get it with your name on it. Because it will be, I think, printed at Monash, sent over by courier to the University of North Carolina, stamped with their badge, sent back here and presented to you here if you graduate here in Parkville. So that piece of paper itself will be an example of global teamwork. And all sort of at the foundation of that, we'll just check back just a spot there, Helen, sorry, is really helping you to develop the ethical, the cultural, and the social principles of global medicine's development. So we will cover science. There's quite a lot of applied science in this degree, and there needs to be. But a very important part of it is understanding the ethical and cultural and social context. Without that, we don't have the ability to be able to create new medicines and meet global challenges is diminished to the point of being not useful. So you need to have that ethical foundation to understand the cultural and social importance of it, what it is that you're setting out to do. And we will help you to develop those skills. Next slide, thanks, Helen. So our career opportunities, we haven't had students complete the degree yet, so we're envisaging, trying to think where it is our students might end up. And you can see the areas that we've got here. Some will get into pharmaceutical companies. Some will be academic researchers, but there'll be things that sit around that as well too, in medication access, in advising health policy, in regulatory strategy, generally in international studies. You're going to have had a good grounding in how to manage yourself in an international perspective. You're going to have teachers coming from overseas. You're going to be working online. You're going to be working with students from around the world. Your colleagues will come from around the world. You'll have a set of a network which will be global by the time you finish the degree, and that's one of the very exciting things. Some of you will probably work in global business development, perhaps in clinical trials, medication development more broadly, supply chains. They're the areas that we're thinking. We're looking forward to seeing what you come up with and where it is that you end up getting placed. But I think we're going to be well placed to move into those spaces there, and that's certainly the aim for us in teaching the degree. Thanks, Helen. Next slide. So the entry requirement for domestic and international students, we have just a semester one intake, and that's semester one in the Australian semester. I think everyone here on the call is probably in Australia now. You will enrol at Parkville, and you'll be an on-campus student at Parkville. So there's a semester one intake only. You need an Australian bachelor's degree or equivalent, and that can come from all places around the world. We just assess the equivalence of that. That gets assessed when you apply. In pharmaceutical science, in pharmacy, more broadly in science, in biomedical science, or even in engineering, in a discipline that's relevant. Could be pharmaceutical engineering, chemical engineering, biomedical engineering, materials engineering, and so on. You need a 60% credit average or equivalent to that. And again, that gets assessed when you when you apply. There are some English language requirements, so we will be teaching the degree in English, so it's important that you meet those minimum English language requirements, which will be set out when you apply. And there are fee places only at the fees which are there, and that's the fees for a full year of study. So you'll be doing a year and a half of study there. So you can multiply that by those numbers by 50% for the entire degree there. Thanks, Helen.
I can take over from here, Tony, if you
Okay,
like.
thanks a lot. Yeah,
If I can get my mouse to work. Oops. So just a little bit about applications. The application closing date is the 31st of January 2026. We would advise anybody who's international, though, to get your application in as soon as you can, because it might take you a while to get your visa. So yeah, please have a think about that. We also have some scholarships for international students. So they're international merit scholarships. And we have two that apply to this course. One will be a 50% and one will be a 25%. And so, as the name suggests, they are awarded on merit. I'll put some links in the chat to things like the scholarship information. So just a bit of a summary. I think Tony's covered everything really in great depth, but just a sort of top level summary. What you're looking at here is a joint degree, so offered by two institutions who are world leaders in pharmacy and pharmacology. So it's going to be a really unique teaching style. You know, you'll be taught by both universities, some online, some in person, hands-on experience. So you'll gain a truly global perspective from both the Americas and also the Asia Pacific. You'll have a placement that will be organised for you. The course has been designed, as Tony has mentioned through his chat. Course has been designed in consultation with industry and research leaders. So it's really designed to kind of meet a need that is out there. And for those of you who aren't from Melbourne, studying in Melbourne is fantastic. And there's a beautiful picture of the Yarra River there. Melbourne's consistently voted one of the world's most livable cities and a great city for international students. There are loads of international students in Melbourne, so it's a really terrific place to be.